By George, I think I've got it.
Hybrothetical Thinking.
I saw that Bigfoot walking across the screen and I thought to myself, wow, they are real.
I ask us all, is that really reasonable?
Hypothetical thinking.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
I'll show you a little of the evidence.
Hypothetical thinking.
Researchers at Stanford University School of Medicine have pioneered a cancer vaccine that eliminated all traces of cancer in mice.
You could find evidence of that, my friends. You could change the world.
Hybrothetical Thinking, a podcast for the hypothetical thinker.
Greetings, travelers, and welcome to Hybrothetical Thinking, a semi-informative podcast that explores the journey inside of Johnny's belly button, through his armpit, out his fingertip, up inside his nostril, and then out his butthole. My name is Nick Floyd, and I'm joined by my very handsome and mildly mediocre, but also high-end co-hosts.
I'm Taylor Nelson.
I'm Johnny Clark.
And the way this works is that either Taylor or myself will do the research for our weekly episodes, and Johnny, sweet Johnny McJonathan Nugget little fella, goes into every episode completely blind, sort of like Billy Ray Cyrus, meaning he has no idea what we're covering each week, and today is no different.
Oh, man.
I would argue that Billy Ray Cyrus had his pulse on the heartbeat of America in the early 90s.
I think so, too.
He was still blinded.
I think now
He was
blinded by amazing success of Acre Break Your Heart.
It hit him. He's like, "Oh, where the fuck did this come from?"
That was.
I don't need to do anything for the rest of my life. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna live in a small town called Spring Hill, Tennessee. Fun fact: he lives right around the corner from me.
Right down the
Spring
road.
Hill, Tennessee.
Right down the road.
Billy Ray, we're coming to pay you a visit.
Dude, that's a hot spot, man. Like, I am pretty sure. I know I watched a Creed documentary recently. But
I also know you watched one too. I could just assume you did.
I'm pretty sure Scott Stapp moved from, I believe he was from Florida. He moved to Franklin, Tennessee to go to college, dude. What? That's crazy.
That's nuts. Welcome.
You guys had old Scott Stapp in your hometown.
Bring it on.
That's a great movie.
I'll take it. What, Scott Staff?
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
I mean, that could have been any.
Add that one to the list, I guess.
Bring it on.
Childhood movie right there.
Creed.
As if it wasn't on the list.
It probably was. I was a cheerleader growing up. You know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I could see Johnny as a cheerleader, a really good cheerleader.
Not for a long time, just for like a year. I was basically like a helper and did practices with my older sister. So I wasn't actually a cheerleader. I was just like part of the squad.
He was just doing it for the ladies.
Yeah, they were all like 16 and I was like 8. It's totally.
If there's one consistent thing about Johnny, it's that he does more and more things for the ladies. Learn how to play piano for the ladies.
Yeah.
Have this podcast for the ladies.
Everything
What's
you
your
do
cheerleader?
is only for the ladies. And for you guys.
Speaking of music and ladies, I'd like to make a correction from last week because I'm getting dragged. I was told that my pop culture knowledge really shined through last week. Lack thereof.
How do you mean?
I made a mistake. I said Pete Davidson was getting engaged to Selena Gomez as some ploy from the government.
I thought there was no way that could be real.
I was wrong. He's actually engaged to Ariana Grande.
What?
But
that is no more realistic.
It's also
it doesn't get better.
It's also the same thing. Aren't they both Hispanic singers and from Disney?
Yes.
Like they're the same
somewhat
person.
beautiful?
Yeah,
They're
they're
both
also
beautiful.
attractive people.
The one thing separating the two of them, it's a pair of light-up cat ears that you can get if you purchase tickets to Ariana Grande live right now.
Is that a thing? You get
She wear cat ears when she performs?
Yeah, she hands them out. Don't ask me how I know that.
Yeah, Nick
because of my lack of pop. I could be wrong there as well, but you know what? Ariana Grande is a movement, and I think
there's a movement for sure. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's no
cat ears for everyone. It's going to solve the world's problems.
Just don't try and serve her bad donuts. She does not stand for it.
It's no what?
She doesn't stand for bad donut service.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Didn't she have some weird confrontation with a donut owner shop? I don't know.
She did.
I don't know. I guess she doesn't like stale donuts or something. Like they have to be the freshest donuts, the freshest of the fresh.
She was
the freshest
spitting on donuts, and then she also said she hated America.
What?
No.
Yeah, she said she hated America,
That's a common thread though right now.
And that guides us. That holds our hand, boys. We've had our hands held and guided gently down this beautiful path all the way back to Bohemian Grove. I know it's a place for dudes, but I think Ariana Grande might be attached because why would she say she hated America? She was intoxicated. Maybe this snuck out. We say how we feel when we're drunk, and maybe Ariana Grande is tired of America telling her that she needs to guide the youth and be a distraction. And she said how she felt.
Is it possible that she has a hidden tattoo of an owl somewhere? Is it possible?
Okay.
Hang on a minute.
Small thing, right? I just got a video from my dad yesterday of a 2.5-foot owl that was on a tree right next to our house. He was
in Grand Haven?
Yeah, just walked around the tree, a full 360. He was like, "Hey there, fella. You're a pretty owl, aren't you?" It was its head just stuck with him the whole way, as if it was like an animatronic. Dude, it was mad.
Or as if it was possessed?
Yeah. Sure.
It didn't spew green liquid, did it?
No, it didn't. It stayed there. I was like, dude, like, it was big. It was half as tall as me, 2.5 feet.
Ah, it's so badass.
Yeah, it's a little shorter than that, but it was huge.
So news update, the only thing I can find of Ariana Grande attached to an owl is that she's performed several times with the band Owl City. That's all I got.
That's a pretty deep connection,
But
dude.
Owl City is Bohemian Grove.
Oh, Johnny, Johnny.
Dude, dot.
That would make sense,
They're all
right?
connected.
That makes sense, because the owl is the biggest thing. Everything's connected. Cool.
Damn.
So it's holding our hand.
So yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and say that I don't want to spend too much time on it. I just want to apologize to the Ariana Grande fans who listen to this podcast.
Sorry, cats.
Sorry, cats.
Sorry,
man.
I fucked up, and the
happened
amount of
again?
shits that I do not give shined through.
It's almost fascinating because we have so many facts about science and like math here that are obviously so far off. But the one thing we backtrack on is a pop culture artist getting married.
Yeah,
You gotta get that right.
You gotta get that right.
it's got to be right, or else.
Well, for Pete Davidson's sake.
Yeah. For Millimeter Peter.
He's a funny guy. Funny guy.
He's a funny guy. He's also funny looking.
Good old Peter.
That's part of the funny thing.
It's part of the joke, Johnny.
I feel like that might be the ploy. Like Ariana Grande just wants to be able to say
Yeah, that's cruel, dude.
that she's.
I'm a good person.
I am a good person because I'm with Pete.
Dude. Oh man, publicity stunt.
Oh
Dude, what if he's like an insanely good singer? Does he sing on Saturday Night Live?
No, he
I'm
doesn't.
pretty sure he doesn't.
Doesn't? Ah, that'd be crazy. Like he's an insane singer, or maybe like he's an incredible piano player. I don't know.
Maybe she's gonna Taylor Swift him, and
Instrumentalist.
she's gonna like dump him, and then write a song about how there's this guy that like she tried to marry, and now they broke up.
The
with
funny
him.
guy.
Yeah.
Well, he's no John Mayer, I guess.
Hey, he is no John Mayer.
You got a point.
Hell, that's true.
I just in talking this, I literally just forgot that it was Ariana Grande. I
Exactly.
I thought it was Selena
I
Gomez.
just catfished
Selena
you.
Gomez the whole time.
I just thought it was again.
We Mandela affected everybody, and I'm sure, the 20, 30, 40, 15 people listen to this podcast, they, for a second,
That's more than that.
they were like, oh shit, Pete Davidson's dating Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
Mandela affected them. And then they would go online and be like, wait a minute, he's not dating Selena Gomez, he's dating Ariana Grande. Are they the same person?
Have they
If
ever
we
been?
dig a little deeper, is it possible that they have dated? And like, then we are truly Mandela?
I mean, if she's gonna date Bieber,
Wait, if
she's gonna
Pete
date
Davidson
Is
is
dating
dating Selena
Has.
Gomez.
Like if they have actually dated in the past.
Have they ever been in the same room together?
Or
Selena
if they
Gomez?
date in the future. I guess both would be some weird Mandela effect, like a future Mandela effect or a current Mandela effect from the past.
We can start one right now.
All I know is this shit's getting crazy.
Okay.
I think we just shifted the timeline.
Do we got news today, Nick?
You damn right we got
Oh,
news.
snap!
Oh, you mean Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande wasn't the news?
Surprise!
Double news.
Plot twist, it was not the news.
Dang, M. Night Shyamalan.
I just M. Night Shyamalan all over Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande.
Ah,
I don't like it.
I didn't follow that.
for the sake of Pete.
For the sake of Pete.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, dude.
So, crazy thing here. Some news dropped on this beautiful Monday morning.
It's obviously Monday right now. It's 100% Monday.
It's 100%
It's
Monday.
Monday.
It's Monday for you all.
I know
listeners.
you guys are curious. How are they doing it? How did they record
And then send it
the
out.
day that they release at midnight? You know what? that's a mystery that we'll never admit how we do this.
Oddly enough, a lot of news happens on Mondays.
Yes, at between the hours of 10 and 1 a.m.
It's got to be.
So they say pain is the key to survival.
Yeah.
They say that when we feel pain, it creates a driving force to either fight or flight, get the fuck out.
Is that the scientific term? Fight or flight. Get the fuck out.
Fight or get the fuck out. No, Claudio Sanchez, he says that pain is only a pulse, so just stop feeling it.
Oh.
Poetic. Little Coheed.
Little Coheed and Cambria. Dude, I think they just came out with their new album. Is that correct? Was that yesterday?
What? Did they drop an album already?
Dude, let me see if it just came out. They just dropped a list of songs. I'm Googling right now. Color Before the Sun. No, that was the last one. I guess it's not out yet.
So, Tay, you're saying that, Nick, you're saying that pain like releases like a dopamine or like adrenaline response chemically in your brain that makes you stronger or have a better ability to survive.
Yeah, so this news specifically focuses on the point that if you don't feel pain, you will not know that you have a deep, dirty wound and like maybe tetanus or some sort of you won't know
unless you see it or something.
Yeah, unless you see it.
Yeah.
So pain is what helps us know, like
that's
something is broken, something is this, something is that.
100%.
The crazy thing here is there is a report in Science Robotics that they have developed a bionic arm that can feel pain.
Whoa. Like a pressure.
I do not understand.
Like pain
Does
is in
not
like
compute.
a pointy object or like a pressure.
Yeah. So it's a bionic arm that actually can feel a sharp pain, and automatically the moment it feels. Yeah, that's right. You heard me. I said a bionic arm, a fucking robot can feel. When it feels pain, it drops whatever the pain is, or it'll move its foot or whatever.
It'll react.
It'll react. It'll respond.
Hmm.
Which leads us to believe that one day bionic limbs can feel pain, making them one step closer to becoming real limbs.
Sentient.
I get that, but in my mind, that's just labeling things that they've already been doing in robotics as the word pain, right? I mean, wouldn't it just be different types of accelerometers or whatever? Like, it can sense heat, it can sense weight, it could probably sense when something's been punctured.
But we're saying that's pain.
Right? And yeah, now we're just going to call it pain.
Well, that's the interesting, like that, that's exactly in this specific news article from Wired.com. It does say that a bionic hand that's already available on the market feels very much like we feel.
Right.
Feel like I feel.
They have I can't say this word for the life of me. It looks like Velociraptor.
I wish I could read it.
Velocimeter.
Mechanoreceptors.
Oh.
Mechaneuroceptors. Mechaneuroceptors.
Mechavelociraptors are good for sensing pain.
That's my favorite dinosaur.
Yeah, so it's a lot of what's being felt in these bionic guys. This is going really well for me.
Bionic
hands. A lot of the feelings are in the fingertips.
Okay.
So that's where they drive all the prosthesis. It's they feel the pinches and
they can grab
the sensors are in the fingertips.
Okay.
And that's where it sends the waves. Listen, I'm not a science major.
I'm no scientist.
On another fact, I read an article, a little news from my end. I read an article recently that some MIT grad students created a robot and inputted all of its like knowledge or whatever, like all of its like quote unquote memories with just Reddit threads, and it became a psychopath. Like all of its inputs.
Oh, dude,
computer
psychopath. Like it started murdering.
Yeah, aren't they? Isn't that like the main thing with AI right now? Is they're doing these AI bots that like seem diabolical, so you just shut them the fuck down.
No,
they're like the bots will start talking to each other, and then they create their own language and shit. And you're like, what the fuck? Shut it down! Shut it down! Abort!
But the
Fucking kill it!
the crux of the thing was that they were inputting all the information via Reddit, and I love Reddit, but like they were just giving it to like Reddit's, I guess, threads, and the vast majority were like negativity or like just trolling, and so all it knew as like a baby, all they were getting information was just negativity, and so they became crazy.
Just like like a robot version of Eeyore that's like, man, I fucking hate everything.
Literally, all his memories is people trolling him.
Yeah,
Like,
literally. And imagine
that's gotta be
if a
depressing.
baby grew up in that situation, they'd become a freaking psychopath.
Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
Well, there was that one. It was like two robots having a debate, and at one point, one of the robots was like questioning its existence.
What am I?
Kill them. Kill
Am I
them.
kill them all? Must kill them.
I can't feel my legs. I don't have legs. Who am I? What am I?
You spread the butter. Oh my God.
So the whole point of this whole entire news story is that researchers are actually spending time and money into exploring how to make machines feel. And that's alarming to me.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I think it's for the purpose of prosthetics, right?
Right, but I think that a lot of, and like I said, I'm no scientist here. I'm probably going to fuck this up, but a lot of our, what goes on mentally is directly associated to pain. And if we do not feel pain, do we feel at all? Like, does pain, like physical pain, does that cause an emotional response? And if we created these bionic
that had pain,
beings,
it's gonna influence their self-preservation,
right?
And that is a direct route to Skynet.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. I mean, because the feelings already existed. They can sense all that stuff, but when they can process it into something that they know they don't want, it's like, whoa, dude. Then how are you supposed to defend against that?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
They don't want to be shut down. They don't want to be turned off.
Yeah.
But I think
that gives them an opinion, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
100%. Like they can make a choice and say, and that's the key. I think this article was so crazy to me because all it takes is for one feeling, one specific thing. You create a robot and you make that robot feel. That robot can make its own decision and say, that hurts. Stop. Or like they can make a response that's associated to that specific feeling, and that's when things are going to get crazy.
It's just at that point that they're going to say, "I don't like this. Stop it." If you try to turn my brain off, like flip the switch, I'll hurt you. Or
it could realize that is an issue for itself. Like that is some form of pain.
If you would as well, if somebody was turning you on and off, like your brain on and off, and you figured out how to not. You
could create some weird fetish.
But imagine,
I don't know.
Imagine working in like a lab. I mean, I think of like Westworld. Like I don't watch the show because it doesn't make a single lick of sense. But I imagine Westworld where like you're working in a lab and you're building these specific like robots that are made out of metal parts and welding and soldering and this and that and yada yada yada. And if that robot is on and listening. If that robot sees someone hurt themselves, we're not talking about stealth, that Jamie Foxx movie.
Same thing.
It's a fucking airplane, Johnny.
It's a stealth bomber, and the same exact stealth bomber had it could hear them, it could understand.
What's it gonna do? Fly towards?
It killed somebody.
Yeah. What?
Wait,
did
they just repackage Knight Rider?
They did.
Yeah, but in the sky.
Is David Hasselhoff in it?
I'm all about the sky.
Nah, Jessica Biel, and Jamie Foxx.
That's an upgrade for sure.
I liked that movie.
You're damn right.
What? You think Jessica Biel? Okay, I'm just kidding. I'll ball the way, dude.
Well, I think he's talking about David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, I was talking about the Hoff. Yeah.
Then yeah, I agree with you. I got a little.
So what if they were able to control it enough to where, okay, this robot's actions aren't going to murder everyone in the room, but you could, when we mentioned the fetish thing a second ago, you could subject it to pleasures and pains and stuff, and see how its likes and dislikes develop. And maybe that would hint at how people's likes and dislikes
100%.
develop, and you could maybe see how to navigate that and avoid certain weird behaviors from people.
Exactly. I think there's so many different routes this can go, and I do think before we started recording, I told you both, I was like, this is this news. I didn't tell you what the news was, but this news could be something that leads to a whole podcast. And I think this is just one step. I think this has been put in front of us to say, hey, we should have a podcast about this soon.
Yeah, we should have a podcast specifically based on iRobot starring Will Smith.
I finally know what topic we're talking about. Dude, heck yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to know when we're going to have it.
We just circled back to Cody and Cambria because they got a badass song that I'm positive was written for iRobot. I believe it's the 2112 or whatever. Or
is it? Was
2113? Whatever. Which one it was. It's like the secret song on the second album. Fuck.
I'm in the dark.
They have a song called iRobot.
What?
Yeah, like the chorus is iRobot would never die. I was like convinced that was written for the movie, and it wasn't in the movie. And I was like, what? Weird.
Will Smith.
This should make sense.
Robots.
So before we jump...
I found the info. Dude, new Coheed album. It comes out on October 5th.
Guys,
Pre-orders on June 29th.
You heard it here first. New Coheed album is dropping very soon. 5th.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be... And, yeah.
They're jumping back onto the story. They kind of abandoned the narrative that they were on, but they're jumping back onto that, so it should be pretty
We should
cool.
have them on the podcast.
We should.
Conceptual narrative, the Armory Wars.
So I'm going to preface before Taylor takes over, takes control, and makes this thing sing like a beautiful, beautiful bird. Wow. I watched Rampage last night, and I lost some sleep over it. I'm still a little, I got too keyed up.
With
The Rock took me places I didn't think I could go. Taylor was present. I was texting him during the viewing. So forgive me for being slightly tired. It rocked my world.
Oh,
yeah,
literally. Well, on that topic, since Nick's talking about it, Taylor, how the hell are you?
How the hell am I? I'm doing pretty good, man. It's been a good week, except for today. I had a pretty lame experience.
Oh.
Man, I dropped my bass off the other day to get fixed up. I needed to get not necessarily get my strings changed, but I needed to get my action fixed. I needed to get the neck straightened out. Needed to get my electronics shielded. Took it to this place that was recommended to me. I'm not going to name the place because they fucking suck. But they did almost nothing I asked. They put shit strings on it that
I'm sorry, man.
Don't even fit my bass. They are not the gauge I asked for. He did straighten the neck, which is good, but when I put the right strings on it, I'm going to have to re-straighten the neck again. Didn't shield it, so it's going to buzz like it always has. I don't know. I'm back at square one. How have you guys been?
That sounds not great. I'm sorry, Taylor. I'm great.
It's horrible.
I'm having a good time.
You sound like it. I can hear it in your voice.
Thanks, man.
Because he's standing up.
Okay, I am
standing
up.
Standing on his own two feet.
Let's address the elephant in the room. I'm standing up. I wanted to stand. It felt good, and I liked standing. Anyways, it's been like really, really hot here in Springfield, Tennessee. But recently, it's been raining, which I'm super into. Like, it's like dropped the temperature like 20 degrees.
Johnny's got a rain fetish.
I think that's probably true. I probably do. I love the rain.
Rain makes me whore.
No.
So if you waterboard a robot, they get a rain fetish. That's a possibility.
They'll short circuit.
What?
They'll short circuit.
From possibility to probability, it's a probability.
Thinking.
It's a definite. It's definite.
But I'm good. Nick, how are you?
I told you, I'm on cloud 9 from Rampage. I watched Rampage last night. I'm going to reiterate, I watched Rampage last night starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Can you rate it right now for me?
Rate it?
Rate it.
I mean, if we're talking quality movie, like a 1 out of 10. If we're talking straight up exactly what I want out of a movie, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
How was Dwayne?
Now, Nick sent me a picture last night, a little screenshot, when he explained to me what movie he was watching. And I think we may have tripped on, like, is Rampage actually a sequel to Inception? Because in the screenshot he shot me, it was of the movie Rampage, in the background, the arcade game Rampage. What?
Oh.
Yeah. And listen,
Game in a movie game.
I love Easter eggs more than anybody, but that didn't make a single thing of sense. You're telling me there's this fucking science lab Apple thing, whatever, and they got Rampage the game in the office, and one day they go, you know what? We're gonna make a genome that's gonna create this video game in real life. Get the fuck out of here.
It's for my son. He loves the game.
I don't understand.
Anything for my son.
It's right.
No, what if? I've played the game Rampage a lot, but I haven't been to the skating rink in a while, so I haven't played it in a while. But what if? Is it possible that Rampage the game also exists in Rampage the game? Is there anywhere in the game where there is an arcade game?
I don't even know.
I would put my money on it. If there is an arcade game in that game,
Meta.
then it was probably Rampage.
Damn.
Game inside of a game inside of a movie about a game.
Oh, shit.
So, at what point does Leo come out and save our lives?
He just waits.
I'm waiting for you guys to mess up.
Anyway.
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, Leo. He's in Inception.
Oh, he's in Inception. No,
I think he's talking about Da Vinci.
Sorry, Taylor. I'm an idiot.
Cool. So, what we got today, boys?
We got a little topic here. I think it's a fun one. It's pretty lighthearted. Yeah, you know. I'm going to start it off with a couple quotes. I'm basically going to paraphrase a speech.
A speech.
Given by what some people call the orange one.
What?
Here we go.
I don't follow it. Okay.
America's interest in space lost out to political interest in Washington. Reclaiming America's heritage as the world's greatest spacefaring nation. The essence of the American character is to explore new horizons
Oh my God.
and to tame new frontiers. Now, this is not only a matter of national identity, but a matter of national security. So important for our military, so important. When it comes to defending America, it is not only important to have a presence in space, but to dominate it. That was paraphrased, of course. So that's our current president, Donald Trump, talking about the new Space Force that he is swinging into action.
Did he say it the way you said it? Did he say it in that accent?
He didn't use that accent, but he did say, so important for our military, so important. He did say that.
It's so important for our military.
Did he say
so important.
Did he say dominating in space?
He actually didn't say it, but to dominate it, but he said, but to hold dominance or something. But yeah, to be dominant. Yeah, he said that.
So you're saying you said it the way he wanted to say it, but
Yeah.
the way
But he couldn't say it.
But he read it the way that someone fucking wrote it for him to
Yeah.
say.
Well, the way he said it means the exact same thing. I don't know. I don't know why I wrote it this way. I'm sorry.
I think there was more power than what you said.
But yeah, he clearly said the goal is to dominate space.
So,
Yeah.
SpaceX. Space Force? Space Force. Not
Space
SpaceX.
Force, I think it's called Space Force. I'm not sure
heard
it
a
has
little
an
bit
official
about this.
name yet. But it's supposed to be, I guess, the 6th branch of the military or whatever. And
Okay.
it's supposed to be like equal to the Navy, Air Force.
How?
Separate but equal. And
Wait, what?
yeah, he has a goal. He's wanting to send somebody to the moon, like ASAP.
You're
Wants to
about
get somebody
like-
on the moon. It'd be the first time on the moon since 1972.
Yeah, 40 years too late.
And he wants to have permanent presence on the moon. And also start, packing up and planning trips to Mars.
It's a lot of
Which,
money.
dude, this is fucking dope, man. Like a lot of money.
But
that's what we need, man. We got to be exploring. That's like he says.
I agree.
It's not only a matter of national identity because that's the American character is to explore new horizons.
Yeah.
And as we all know, there ain't no new horizons on the Earth unless you want to climb past the outer ice wall and go onto the infinite flat plane.
Flat Earth theories. No, I agree with you, Tay. I think that's really important. But I don't think it's necessarily feasible to think that we can make Space Force as strong as our Navy or our Air Force because, like, nukes don't work in space. Like,
Yeah, but well, possibly. I don't know that.
Dude,
But
could you imagine?
possibly other things work in space. But I will tell you this. I'll tell you this. I know tons of people out there who aren't necessarily military type dudes because I'm one of these people. I said this 1,000 times back in the day. I was like, man, I can never see myself in the military. Then my grandpa served in World War II. So, it's like, it's in the heritage or whatever, but I could never see myself being in the normal military. But I always said, if there was like a real space task force, I would sign up in a fucking second.
I would too. Like, I would love to be an astronaut.
Yeah, dude. Young 18-year-old Taylor Nelson, if I was in shape and stuff, dude, I would go straight for that, dude. And I guess it's different than being an astronaut, I guess. This is like military Space Force. I guess I defaulted to that because it's like so difficult to be an astronaut. I don't know why this would be easier. But
I think it'd be harder because you'd have to also know
You do
precision.
military training and also astronaut training.
In zero gravity
Right.
sucks. Like, you have to stay fit up there, and like some of the machinery they use. Like,
What
strap you
Johnny's
down.
saying is he's been in zero gravity before, and he knows what goes into being in zero gravity.
No, my dad trained to be an astronaut. And
What?
I
no way.
You can't just drop a bomb like that.
What?
yeah, I think you guys knew that.
Dude,
Yeah.
respect just went from 100
But-
to 100,000.
If he's-
That is
if-
super dope.
if
Get Mr. Clark on the phone. We have some questions for him.
Here's the thing: he actually didn't pass because in the final process when they're doing like the G-force
Can we confirm?
training.
Can you call him right now?
Should I right now?
Yeah,
Call him
yeah,
right now.
call
We
a
need
friend.
to confirm.
You call him right now?
Yeah.
All right, I'll call him right now.
I know you're an
Mr.
elaborator.
Clark.
All right, I'll call him right now.
Yeah, we're going to give him a call. We're going to do something we've never done before. We're going to give Mr. Clark a call, and we're just going to get confirmation. Just confirmation. That's all we need.
I hear it ringing.
It's ringing right now.
I hope he says something awesome.
We need to confirm or deny. All right, here we go.
Hey, Dad, what's up?
Not too much, honey. What's going on
Well,
with you?
well, we're on the podcast right now, and we were bringing up, astronaut stuff, some space stuff, and I brought up the idea or the fact that you were training to be an astronaut. You want to talk about that for a second?
Well, I'd be happy to.
Well, then do it.
Well, let's see. Set the clock back to 1985, and part of the reason I moved to Newport Beach was to become an astronaut. So I started traveling up to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, to Vandenberg Air Force Base, to Edwards Air Force Base, doing everything I could to get to know people and try to figure out, hey, I want to be an astronaut. What can I do? And I found out through a major I got to know at Edwards by Mojave, Major Sam Riles, a pilot of an F-4 Phantom, that he said, well, there's pretty much two ways to become an astronaut at that point in time. You either were a microbiologist with 2 or 3 PhDs for your scientific skills, the government wanted you in the space to do experiments, or you had to be a qualified test pilot that was selected by NASA to be one of the pilots flying the aircraft, or spacecraft rather. So that was the route I got on, and they had me set up to, the plan was that I was going to go to UCLA. I was going to then, after graduating in the degree which the Air Force wanted me to graduate in, I would then go into the Air Force as a second lieutenant, and then they would kind of fast track me right straight towards the test pilot program. And then upon successfully completing the test pilot program, I was going to be technically their token project, like their
token.
The chosen one.
I was the first person that had really wanted to go through this whole effort, and it approached them. So I was kind of like their little brother in the process. I really felt, like they were going to help get me through the process.
So what went wrong, Dad?
Let's jump to what went wrong. Okay. My stomach went wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
If you spin me around backwards and ask me to read a book, I puke.
Yeah.
Well, if you ask me to read a book, I puke.
At that point in time, when I talked to the doctor at Edwards Air Force Base, he said, gosh, David, he goes, your aptitude, your psych tests, all these things are off the charts. I can see how these guys would want you here. However, he said, right now at this point in time, we do not have an anti-nausea medication to give you that will not either make you dopey or flat out, make you fall asleep. So he said, here's the only options we've got right now. If you want to continue on the program, at the point you lift off and start experiencing 7 or 8 Gs, you're probably going to be nauseous and disoriented for the entire flight, which pretty much makes you worthless to NASA. Or I can give you the medication that's available today, and then we'll be launching you into space, and you'll be sleepy for 7 days, which makes you worthless.
Which makes you worthless.
So literally, that day, you talk like a dick punch. I just felt horrible. I was disappointed and deflated, and got my ass in my Grand Prix and drove back to Newport Beach.
It sounds depressing. It sounds pretty depressing.
It was depressing.
What do you think?
A serious dick punch for sure.
Space, and then came to find out because I have a weak stomach, it disabled me.
All right, well,
that's a bummer.
Thanks for answering the call, Dad. We're gonna go back to the podcast, but it was great having you on. All right.
Hey, have a great day, honey. Love you.
All right, bye.
See you, Mr. Clark.
You heard it there first, ladies and gentlemen.
What?
Just
That's
like
crazy,
that,
dude.
we can pick up the phone and we can call an almost astronaut. All right.
That easy.
We got connections with almost
An
astronauts.
almost astronaut. No, it's real.
Dude,
So,
that is,
what I was saying is that, Taylor, it's not only just the astronaut training, but it's also like, the ability to be precise and be a marksman and have that ability. There's a lot that goes into it. And I wouldn't credit my dad to be some kind of major athlete, but there's a lot that goes into being an astronaut. And I met
the guy. I shook his hand. It hurt.
My dad?
He's got a firm grip.
Does he?
Got a real firm grip.
Anyways, so I believe, Taylor, you can become an astronaut, but dude, there's a lot of stuff goes into it. And
Hey, you spin Taylor around enough? Iron stomach. Iron stomach, that man.
I do have a pretty iron stomach, though. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Hey, yo, hi, bros. Little pause for the cause as we pass our money-saving powers on to you. If you're anything like me and you like chewing massive wads of gum while being admired for wearing hilariously gruesome t-shirts, then do the natural thing and head over to glorpgum.com and enter in the promo code I'm a Bro Lever. That's going to get you 15% off any purchase over $20. That's I'm a Bro Lever. I''M space A space B ROLIEVER. Glorp.
Wait,
So, what?
sorry. So you're saying that there's a new space force that's coming out?
New Space Force, yeah, that Trump is initiating. He wants to go to the moon. He wants to be permanently on the moon. He wants to go to Mars. He wants to just be up in space all the time because he thinks that...
A lot of people would be pretty happy, but I don't think that's really what he wants. I think he wants other people to be up in space.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I want to be in space.
I'm going to be the president of the moon.
I'm going to check it out myself.
I'm going to be the president of space. Sign me up.
So here's my problem with this whole thing is that there's obviously an evolution of humanity from like early ancient dynasty like China to now like current time. There's always been a threat with other people and like different weaponry, but so far we have no confirmation that there's anything threatening out there. And I think at the point we do, we won't stand a chance anyways. So I think it's almost futile.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying there. But I think most people believe that there is a life out there, and the chances would say that there are probably good ones and there are probably bad ones. So there are probably ones that are on our side, and there are probably ones that would give no shits about us. Like, the way that Nick feels about Selena Gomez and pop culture. But, what's weird is that, like, it seems a lot of people, like a lot of dudes like us and a lot of people I've heard are, like, totally for it. They're like, oh, hell yeah, this is amazing. Oh, to get there. But a lot of people in the military higher-ups, and a lot of people in the government seem to be completely against it. Not only are they saying it's just like a waste of money is what they're trying to say, but, like, we know as much as we talked a little bit about overpopulation and stuff like that, and how there has to be some number, like some magical threshold of the most people that you could have on the planet and still be somewhat comfortable. Mm-hmm. And then there's probably another threshold where it's like, this is the most that you can have without people start dying just because of it.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's inevitable that we got to hop off this planet at some point. We got to find another planet, and we got to, or something. Yeah, eventually.
So,
but it's got to start pretty early, or else it's got to start somewhere. When would it happen?
I've watched a ton of YouTube videos, and I've read a whole lot of research on overpopulation. I'm really fascinated by it, but I don't think we can really colonize something like Mars or the moon feasibly. I don't think we can really colonize a different planet in itself until we have the abundance of like light travel.
I don't think that's the point, though. I think the point
of Space Force, yeah.
Of Space Force, it's interesting because like exactly what you and Taylor were talking about. I think it would be a bad choice to take part of our military and put them in space, because then it just blows a hole into the U.S. military.
Yeah, which is huge
massively.
By itself,
but what if they're trying to, do exactly that? Open that sixth part, which is why I think they're classifying it as like a sixth part of the military, and they're trying to cut population down by doing something enticing that's like, you could go to space and you could follow your dreams and blah 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 blah.
And then they
ship a ton of people out,
and they ship a shit ton of people out.
It's like
we cut population in the United States.
Total Recall, but they just die.
Well, at one point there was no Navy, and the United States didn't have, like, I don't want to say control, but they didn't have a parameter around our borders of the ocean. So we got one.
Yeah,
there was a time that there was no Air Force, and we got one so we could protect the skies and explore the skies, see what the hell's going on. Like,
it's always been for a reason, though. There's always been a threat.
Maybe there is a threat. I mean, everyone thinks that there's aliens out there, and tons of people think that they could be attacking us. But even if there's not, it's another boundary that we need to explore, and we need to push that boundary and see, like, create that safe space. So now there's another boundary even farther away.
Right.
But what you say about maybe we don't need protection. There's no secret that this secret exists, that there are black budget operations out there, like super black budgets.
Sure.
Super deep shit that gets spent on stuff that we have no idea. And it's known that like the president's security clearance is not the highest clearance.
Right.
So he doesn't have all the information. Is it possible that there's already a space fleet? Many people think there already is a permanent space fleet out there. And where it is, it's called Solar Warden. There's a project called Solar Warden.
What?
That is a permanent space fleet, and it is a deeper than black budget. It goes lower than the black budget, more underground than a black budget, and billions and trillions of dollars every year spent on this space fleet.
Get out of here. Well, like that, I don't understand. Like, listen, military is great. Like, it's great. I respect it. It's great. But like, you can't cut the budget of NASA, whose job is to explore space.
Yeah.
Like, the military's job is not to explore uncharted territory.
It's true.
That's NASA's job. Like, if you want to make a space force, that's great. Have the military work in cahoots with NASA.
But don't
have
take
NASA
their budget.
do the exploration, and then.
Well,
I agree. I think it's step one to send a rover, send some kind of like probe out into space, which we've done with no callbacks yet. Callbacks like it's musical. Like we've no sign back from alien.
Well, no, I mean that's not true. I mean, in the Crop Circle episode, we highlighted a response to one of the calls that we sent out.
I don't remember. What was the call? Did we get a call back?
Yeah, it was.
That frequency.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not only the frequency, but one of the Crop Circles seems to be a direct response to that golden record that was sent out that had.
But we also talked about the idea that people were specifically doing the crop circles
right,
intentionally,
yeah.
and so that could
it's
have
possible.
been. So, but what I was saying is that I think it's first importance. Maybe it's just because I'm, I like humanity, I like humans, and I want to like
humans. Are great.
Well, so they can be. But I
but
think
dogs are better.
It's my favorite type of Homo sapien.
But is it the only type of Homo sapien?
I don't know.
Anyways, but I think it's smart. I think it's almost like needed to send out a probe or send out like electronics first, a rover, a probe, satellites out there to find out stuff, say pictures and all stuff before we send a human.
But we've been doing that.
Well, I know, but I'm saying first NASA, then Army. I don't think the Army should be the one exploring, especially because
ponder on this. I guess like let's say back when Spain was exploring everything or whatever. Like they send Christopher Columbus or whatever. They send out an explorer with his several ships and army dudes. Like, he's an explorer, but they send a fleet of their battlers, man,
because
of their infantry.
They had the knowledge that there were countries of hostility.
No, they had no knowledge at the time.
I disagree.
It's a blurry thing, but they set out to look for West India or a different route to India,
and
they
didn't
stumbled
know
upon this.
But for a right choice,
possibly discovered.
They got to America
continent.
and they had a huge war, right? They
it's the idea of opposition, right? Like
you can't go out blindly.
Yeah,
you have to have some protection with you.
So maybe that's the point. Like whether the government knows, like I fully believe the government knows way more than we do at all times. Like
absolutely
100%.
Agreed.
Even if there was like some slight form of contact, I still think that announcing a space force alone is fucking dumb. But announcing it and saying we're partnering with NASA, we're going to make more leaps and bounds towards exploration, and in order to explore, we need to have some sort of militarized. Because like you've seen movies, like anytime you have like Rampage, the military. Could have fucked everything up, and Dwayne Johnson and his giant gorilla were doing just fine. Like they were doing fine. They just got to believe. Congo. You got to just trust Amy.
Dude, sad story. I saw our friend Heather posted this the other day. Yep. Dude, Coco has passed away.
Coco has passed away. Unfortunately,
gorilla life,
does
man.
suck.
But every movie that you guys have ever seen that involves space. Like a science exploration in space, Wayland Corp, whatever. Like
there's always military.
There's always a guy on there with a hidden gun.
But
that's
because the movie almost always inevitably has a contact with aliens, whether it's Star Trek or whatever it is.
Because it's to be expected. And other scientists are like, they're hoping that they come in contact.
That's sci-fi.
Yeah, but the government puts this guy on there with a gun. Because they're like, dude, there's a possible chance that, you are going to come in contact. If it's hostile in any way, shut that shit down.
I guess, but there was in Armageddon, they had a gun, but they only ever even experienced using it towards, Bruce Willis.
That's the dumbest. I agree. You can't bring a gun in here. There's a nuke. That was just crazy,
but
guys.
The
That
nuke
was just crazy.
is what. Okay. Anyways, so I agree with you. I think it's definitely prudent that we have exploration. I'm not discrediting that at all. I just think it's like, so like we sent a probe out, whatever, just into space, however long ago, and it's been like, let's say 30, 40, 50 years, 100 years, I don't know how long it was ago, but you send a human out, and let's say in their late 30s, they're only going to survive for 30 years before they start getting old. That's not a whole lot of help for exploration.
Well, we have the International Space Station that's still there that people just don't talk about ever.
That's true.
Like, it's there. Like, there are
Is
people...
it there?
Yeah, well... But I think,
apparently it's all done underwater. I don't know.
If we talk, like, military and space, like if we're talking Space Force, there are 3 people that come to mind, okay? And they're
Bruce Willis, obviously.
Hang on.
Tom Hanks.
I got to get this right because I don't want to mess this up.
What was he in space?
Oh, dude, Apollo 13?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I guess Kevin Bacon, too. Can't forget him.
When I think Space Force, and granted this is already kind of debunked slightly because there was actual contact that was aggressive, I think of 3 people. I think of President Thomas J. Whitmore, I think of Captain Steve Hiller, and I think of David Levison.
I don't like none of those people. I don't David Levison. But...
I'm talking Independence Day, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Earth.
Welcome to Earth. In that respect, you took a scientist, you took a president, and you took Captain Steve Hiller.
Just some guy.
And you put them all together, and that was, that sort of, like, it took all of that. So maybe that's the key. Like, maybe Contact, sure, wasn't a giant spacecraft blowing up the fucking White House, but what if Contact was something as simple as us finding some alien farts on Mars? And that caused, okay, we need to have a Space Force, because the announcement of a Space Force came very shortly after that announcement from the Curiosity rover on Mars.
It's almost like they found something and we're like, all right, now we know this. We don't want to say what it is, but we know there's something more. We have to create this and tell the people we're making a Space Force, but not tell them the actual reason behind it.
Which the whole told you so mentality. It's like, okay, this happened, and then this happened, and then like in 3 weeks or 3 months or 6 months,
333.
Trump announces 333. If Trump announces and says, "All right, guys, here's the thing. Curiosity rover found this. We announced the Space Force, guys. It's time for you to digest this. We're going to space to fight aliens." Yeah. And they could have been like, "Hey, we held your hand and we guided you. We told you so. We put it in front of you and we led you to this point. Now you got to swallow the pill.
Yeah,
because we're going to fucking war."
Yeah. I think, though...
Dude, how crazy would that be?
It's less, in my opinion, it's less about... I think the Space Force is probably less about exploring space and more about setting up the parameter around the Earth to protect the United States. I think that's probably what it's about.
You think Space Force is to protect just North America?
Well, to control the Earth, essentially. I mean, it's no secret that, like, pre-George W. Bush administration, there was a goal to set up a permanent space presence. So the United States, whoever does that first, obviously will control the world. I mean, you can control anything at that point, right? You're at the top of the hill. You got the high ground.
Taylor, you said something real interesting here. I don't believe in aliens. I believe in alien life. We're going to set the record straight now.
What's the difference?
I believe in alien life. Like life as in
there's organic matter, but there's not like
I don't believe in aliens, like fucking Close Encounters, like tall little, like I don't believe in little green men, but I do believe in aliens or alien life forms. Sorry, but as far as the Space Force goes, what if the Space Force is exactly what Taylor you were just alluding to? That if we create the idea of control, if we say we are establishing a Space Force, it's not going to do jack shit, but float around the Earth. And because we're already like we're already looking in space and watching for meteors and asteroids, and we're looking like that's been established for a long time. But if we're creating the illusion of a presence around Earth established by the United States, this could basically create a cross-country debt to the U.S. Because they could pull...
we're protecting.
Exactly. Yeah. We could easily say, hey, we're in space, we're protecting Earth, which means we're protecting you, we're one planet. Boom.
Oh.
Is that not the quickest way to a new world order?
That's a power move.
It absolutely is, Taylor.
Dude, if there's now an owl on this logo, holy shit.
There could be.
I agree that like when we were able to set troops in Europe and had a stronghold in World War II, and we like owned the place, and then we backed off and let them do their own thing. When we established submarines and destroyers in Pacific and the Atlantic, and we had like a stronghold over the majority of the oceans, we owned it, you know? But the idea that we're going to be in space and having the whole globe or the whole flat earth around us, we're controlling it, we're essentially the big brother of every single nation, and then they either...
it's the illusion of control.
Yeah.
It seems like that's the ultimate goal for the United States. It seems like that's been the goal of the United States for a long time.
Maybe it is just a control. Maybe it's not actually for exploration. Maybe it's just so we can say, we own the place, bitch.
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly it. Yeah, in my opinion. And not only that, like we're, SpaceX and whatnot is finding easier ways to get rockets out of the atmosphere.
Or a car.
And even land. Yeah, or a car.
Or a car.
They're finding ways to get out of the atmosphere. And if we can get people off fossil fuels, there might be a way quicker way to get out of the atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
If we can establish a parameter around the Earth that's already out of the atmosphere, start building that up, stockpiling it and stuff, or maybe even a base on the moon, then now we have something outside of the Earth's atmosphere that we can launch from.
And I think that's so important.
So much easier to get where we want to go.
So important.
We need to mine moon rocks for hydrogen-3.
So
power all of our cars, electricity, everything by moon rocks.
Didn't Exhibit? I think Exhibit did moon rocks, right? Or who's the moon rock guy? I think it is Exhibit. Is Exhibit's moon rocks?
Guy.
People out there on the West Coast know what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about weed?
I'm talking about weed.
I didn't get that joke. See, I think it's really important because, like, at the point we can establish that we're making, greater strides toward exploration and like understanding of space, people are going to get off their high horse of war. They're going to like maybe put more money into their cosmonauts or our astronauts, and more money is going to be put into gradering, like evolving human evolution and our like understanding, getting us further into the future without overpopulation and dying. We need to put more money into that.
This could fuck everything up though, because if us, like three dudes, like three averagely intelligent dudes,
above average,
Taylor's pretty freaking smart, dude.
Taylor real smart. If the three of us are sitting here talking about the illusion of control, like if you control space, you control the world.
Yeah.
If we're talking about that, why are other countries and leaders? When are they going to start talking about it? And
they've absolutely been talking about it.
They've definitely talked about it.
When they do,
that's what Nazis were doing, man.
Yeah,
like Hitler was all about that kind of counterculture stuff, man, doing all this crazy shit that people don't talk about.
Hell yeah.
But like all it's going to take now is for one country, one leader of one country to go, hey, do you hear what they're doing in the United States? Do you hear what they're doing in the White House? They're trying to control space. Well, not before we do. And then we're going to have a space race all over again. And then whoever gets there first, it's going to be, or we all work together, but that's not how this world works.
It's not going to work.
It's not how this world works, but that is a possibility. It is possible that, let's say, this is another movie scenario that happens a lot. Let's say that we do establish a Space Force. There's probably going to be people involved from other countries. There would have to be. That's just the way they do it. So they'd probably have people from every country working on this.
We'd have to.
And let's say we do get attacked or there is some kind of confrontation. That's I don't want to say patriotism. I don't know what the word is for the whole globe, but like that would be an easy way to bring everybody together, just like Independence Day and all that kind of stuff. Everyone working together. But think about this. What if the United States does go out and we do find someplace and we do start inhabiting it and we like, dude, this is a new spot. We got it. Like, I think not only would these other countries want to do that, like why would we not bring other countries along, A, but B, if it was just the United States doing this, it would kind of influence these other countries to be like, holy shit, there is something out there. Let's go in this direction to look for something. Find our own spot. And it would be like less tension on Earth, possibly, because these people have a place to go now that they can explore. They can, a new home. Tame new frontiers, as Trump says.
Right.
It's possible. And then eventually there would be this void left where, who knows, maybe there's such a void left behind. Maybe these other places are so much greater, which that doesn't seem possible.
That Wally starts designing a trash place with a cockroach.
Yeah, and this becomes the trash place because it just grows to that naturally.
Well, like,
weird.
I think from a positive perspective, and while my values have not, and probably will not align with our president's currently, I will say that what if there is positivity to this? Like, what if there is a positivity that this could be the key? Like, I think about the movie Arrival, where the U.S. military had to work with other countries.
We tried to.
And these aliens basically were trying to keep the peace on Earth because the aliens need Earth to be peaceful. And as one planet, we can, if we work together, the power of Earth is fucking insane. And I think from a positive perspective, this could be the answer to that. As ridiculous as it sounds, as crazy as I probably sound, a Space Force could just be the answer to one globe, one planet, one Earth.
What if these, I think that makes sense. What if us making a Space Force allows other intelligence or like other aliens, whatever, hypothetically, to want to communicate and want to work together? They've had no incentive yet because we've had no presence in their backyard.
Right.
I think it's definitely valid. I mean, I'm not, like I said, Nick, I don't agree with anything everybody says 100% of the time, but there's positives and negatives to everything. I think this could either be really great or
really
stupid.
bad.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're either screwed in the pooch or we're definitely making great strides towards exploration.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, guys, it's just one of your high bros here. I just wanted to pass along a 10% savings at futuremonsters.com. If you're into the Wolfman, if you're into Frankenstein, King Kong, Dracula, you can go to futuremonsters.com and you save yourself 10% on any of the high-quality threads. They got amazing designs on a quality fabric print. I'll tell you right now, I got one last week. It feels really good on my body. If you want to save 10%, put some stuff in your shopping cart, enter into the coupon code. You want to enter in capital HYBRO. That's capital HYBRO. That's Hybro. Capital HYBRO. Get yourself 10% off. I think it's great. Even if it's like Trump knows that some secret permanent space fleet already exists and he's just proposing this to be like, to cause this opposition from the military and other government leaders, so it somehow shines light of like, hey, why are you guys against us starting a space fleet? And they have to come up with some ridiculous answer that probably has something to do with money, but eventually you dig down the rabbit hole and you find that, oh shit, they're just trying to cover up the fact that this space fleet has already existed for a long time.
Yeah.
Now, have you guys ever heard of this fella named Gary McKinnon?
Well,
No.
McKinnon sounds
Sounds familiar. You've probably heard of this guy. So he's
Familiar.
a Scottish systems administrator and hacker who was accused in 2002 of perpetrating the biggest military computer hack of all time.
Whoa.
What?
Right. So this is the guy who he hacked into the NASA computers and some U.S. Like government computers or whatever. And he goes by the name. His hacker name is Solo.
Oh,
and
he
was accused of hacking into 97 United States military and NASA computers over a 13-month period between February 2001 and March 2002 from his girlfriend's aunt's house in London. So he claims
he hacked from his aunt's house.
His girlfriend's aunt's house.
What kind of computers is she working with, man?
His girlfriend's aunt's friend's house. Do what?
She probably has the greatest tech of all aunts.
She's got a Windows 98 with AOL Instant Messenger. He hacked in through there, got into the computers and said, hey, it's Solo. I'm here. I'm in. I control.
Bro. Dude, no, here's a quote that he left on the U.S. military's website. Your security is crap, quote unquote.
What a troll. Your security.
Dude.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, so another thing that he said is, it says, U.S. foreign policy is akin to government-sponsored terrorism these days. I will continue to disrupt at the highest levels. But what this dude is claiming, he claims that he actually stumbled upon numerous files, pictures, and lists. And some of these files had to do with Project Solar Warden that we spoke of earlier.
Oh, shit.
And Solar Warden is apparently a permanent space fleet that has existed for many, many years within the U.S. government that is a super deep underground, blacker than black, no reflection of light. This is super black budget. And he says he stumbled upon files that indicate things that are going on, pictures that were taken from outside Earth's atmosphere. Not only that, but the biggest fucking crazy thing that he claims to have found is a list of off-world officers. Actual names on a list of officers who are off-world, and it's not clear whether these officers are human or alien. and it's possible that they're a combination of both.
Talking about like Luke Picard and like Captain Kirk, or are we talking like weird alien names?
I don't know. He didn't really name any names, but I guess it was a. I guess you could assume that's an alien, but but even if it was an alien, I'm sure they would call him Jeff. You know, if it's some weird crazy name, it's like, all right, we're going to call you Jeff. Jeff.
Yeah, well, I mean, in Arrival, they called him Lucille and what was it again, Nick? Arrival, they called the aliens Gustav and what was the name of the aliens they called?
Oh man, I forgot.
Like Jack and Joe or something.
It was something like that. It was like oh my gosh.
Joe and Jane.
It was no, it was something like that. It was Gustav and it's like those two people like the lovers that did all those crimes and traveled
Abbott
away.
and Costello.
Yeah, that one.
Boy!
Bing bong, bing bong.
I got a computer here, but I don't have a computer, so I have to rely on you guys for the facts.
Dude, the United States they claim that this is the biggest like hack of all time.
So huge.
And I don't know. I've seen the movie Hackers. There were some pretty serious hacks in that.
Yeah.
But apparently this is like the biggest hack of all time, and they claim that he deleted all kinds of files and copied a bunch of data, and that he cost the government over $700,000 in damages for tracking and correcting all the problems that he made. Whatever, I guess.
Correcting all the problems. I mean, like, why is he costing them money if he's fixing stuff?
Exactly. I mean, typically hackers, when they're busted at like age 11 for doing these incredibly insane hacks, they get hired by those companies to work security.
That was in a movie, wasn't it?
That is the way it goes. So I don't know why. Maybe he's actually working for the U.S. government now, but he's actually in London, I guess is where he lives. That is probably his girlfriend's aunt's house. And they tried to, the U.S. had tried to extradite him for, many, many years, but I think recently London has blocked that.
Yeah, Theresa May withdrew her extradition order. But where is he? Like,
he's still there in London. I'm sure if he came to the U.S., they'd nab his ass real quick.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is that if he can hack it, then they want him to refix their firewalls and refix their coding so that no one else can hack it.
But he's like dropped off, man. Like, this is the crazy thing. Anytime we talk about Bohemian Grove, we talk about any of this stuff, like, these people who get close, they just disappear.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man, because that shit's probably real.
I want to happen to one of us.
He's not the first person who's come out with shit like that.
One of us,
the first person to see it.
One of us finds out stuff, we know what happens. Let's just make a pact right now. If one of us gets nabbed, we know it's the government.
Dude, no. If one of us leave this podcast, it's not by choice.
It's by force.
It's by Space Force.
So the dopest thing here about Gary McKinnon's life, the dopest thing, okay? In August 2009, David Gilmour of Pink Floyd released a single online. It's called Chicago Changed the World, whatever. He played all of it, whatever. The whole point of this song is to promote McKinnon and the things that he had done and like the situation that he was in.
And Pink Floyd is all about space.
All about it. Yeah, they're spacey as fuck.
Doesn't the Pink Floyd, like the prism thing, like embody space? That the light particle goes through that prism, comes out a rainbow? It's all subjective, man. But what's not subjective is how crazy this is. I just want to know more. I want to figure out what these costumes look like. I saw one costume not costume. Let me backtrack. I saw one Space Force like military outfit that looked kind of like Master Chief meets like a bomb squad.
He was just looking at the
picture.
It should
look like Master Chief.
He was looking at a picture from the video game Dead Space.
Was I? Well,
who apparently copied Halo.
I think we should definitely I want an image of this. I want to see these guys look like 100%.
Dude, how many cosplayers are there going to be at the cons now that are Space Force dudes? That'd be
Heck
tight.
yeah.
Oh, dude. So I was on Facebook earlier this morning, just scrolling and trolling, and I popped. I saw one of our tattoo buddies from Geek Streak Legends, Lucky Stinchom.
What?
Lucky, what up, dude? He did this badass little drawing of his interpretation of what the space fleet would look like. And it's basically a picture of Buzz Lightyear with Trump's head. It's fucking amazing.
That's hilarious.
It's hilarious, dude.
Every single mask on the Space Force is Trump's head. And it has that weird helmet hair that kind of flows on top of the
hella protection and probably really aerodynamic.
Very probably. And it's gonna be orange. Gotta keep away from that radiation from the sun.
Yeah, I mean,
to infinity and beyond.
In terms on that subject, Taylor. Excuse me.
Did you just burp on the podcast, Nick? We're reaching new bounds, everybody.
New bounds.
It's on the table.
In terms of the ideal Space Force, like, who who would be on it?
Yeah.
We would.
I'd be on it.
We'd be podcasting from the tip of the ship, bro.
Yeah, but I think the people who in the military, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's I don't know, I'm speaking out loud here, but maybe they think there's a bigger threat, a more realistic threat across seas than in space.
Or is that what they want you to think, man?
Also, it's illusion, man. It's illusion.
Also, like the being deployed. Like let's say for some reason I get deployed and I have to go across seas or whatever. I go to wherever, like the Middle East, wherever it is, Syria. Let's just say that, and I go for however long the deployment is, and I'm in a tour and wherever in Syria, and for 8 to 10 months. Versus I'm in space, traveling to different planets. I'm never coming back. I don't know when I'll be back.
Of course, you're never coming back.
I think that's a possibility.
People don't want to do that.
But why would it be any different though? Like, why wouldn't it be? Okay, this is a 3-year mission, and you come back after 3 years.
Well, would it be 3 years? Because
or whatever the number is.
Well, that's the thing is, I don't think it would be. I think if we're going to try to do exploration, we're not going to bring them back because the planets that we're looking at are light years away.
If we did it, it would all be forced exploration, man. Like I think straight up, like alien style, when we drop a fucking military on a planet and then be like, "Hey, sorry, so the 2027 budget just came in. We don't have enough to get you back.
Sorry, everybody."
I don't know. I think these military guys, if they're signing up for space exploration, they know that is probably a possibility no matter what. But then I would almost guarantee that there would be different types of missions where you have missions that are clearly just going to loop around in the neighboring area that they're at, loop around a little bit, look at shit, possibly just open space, come on back.
But that just sounds like a probe. It's a waste of money to bring a human.
Yeah, maybe so. But then there would probably be other ones where it's a little bit further. Like, okay, this one's going to be a several-year thing where we're going to go to this one object that we see. Maybe it's not couldn't be light years away, obviously. And we're obviously talking about current types of propulsion systems that we know of right now.
Which aren't good enough.
Okay?
They're just not good enough. We don't have the money
Maybe
to
they're
make
not,
them better.
But then there would have to be another, section of exploration that would be like, okay, guys, this is a dead-end exploration. We're going to send you out. We're going to push you off, and it's going to go. And hopefully we'll remain in contact for as long as possible. Here's your provisions. Here's things that possibly you could keep yourself alive for a long time. But this is a dead-end mission, and you're just going to go and report on what you find until you die.
Oh, that's black.
Possible,
that's space. That's space next to me. That's also space. And there's the space there. It's going to be like a nothingness.
That would be crazy, but that's the chance that they would have to be willing to take, and I'm sure the people who would sign up for it get that.
It's not going to be like Rockhound from Armageddon, where he's like, "I just want to die." It's not going to be like that. We're not going to send out people that are going to be kamikaze. They're going to be like, "I'm just going to do this. It's going to be a suicide mission."
Not necessarily kamikaze. Like if you think about if they have the provisions, if they have the, if they have the Mark Watney in them, and they can grow potatoes or whatever.
But
if they can make their
just
stay alive until they
potatoes.
just grow old and die, they just live the rest of their life on that journey moving forward, not necessarily committing suicide. They would just die of old age,
I just want to take a second. I had a very brief outburst. Johnny is still standing.
Whoa,
he hasn't sat
you're making
the
my
fuck
feet
down,
hurt, dude.
And he just
I bumped the table.
pelvic thrusted the
I
table.
did not. The seat hit it.
Now the legs are all cattywampus.
Whatever.
The whole table's about to come.
I have knees on
Is that a Pink
seat.
Floyd reference?
Might be.
I don't know. I have knees on a seat. I hit the table. I didn't pelvic thrust anything.
The boy stood the whole podcast.
The boy.
I wanted to stand.
The boy stood.
Is that illegal? Can I stand during the podcast? Am I hurting someone's feelings? I don't think so.
You hurt the damn table.
Yeah, I apologize. This table, this inanimate object, doesn't have feelings.
Hybro almost fell.
Hybro did almost fall. But he's got a helmet on.
Hybro has a military helmet on.
Yeah, so if there doesn't say anything about SpaceX, I don't know. Space Force.
Yeah, that's possibly a sign.
If you don't know who Hybro is, Hybro's our mascot. It's a severed head with sunglasses on. And
well, it's not severed. It's just
severed.
it's a mannequin.
It's a mannequin's head.
Like a foam head.
It's been severed.
Yeah,
Sunglasses,
does severed imply that it's a not clean cut?
I don't know. I think severed just means removed,
or just
right?
disconnected.
Removed.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a severed arm.
I guess I just envision like bloody, mangled neck.
Well, no, Hybro is definitely, he's 100% just foam. He's foam.
100% foam. He's a lot of chlorofluorocarbons were created in the creation of the Hybro, and that's something we need to talk to him about.
He's here in spirit. He kind of sends us through the episodes and make sure that we're on track.
So, I mean, Taylor, who would be your ideal Space Force?
Well, okay, we have to omit the obvious. Like, can't be The Rock, Tom Hanks.
Damn it,
obviously, they would be the pilot and co-pilot, but
I would never send Tom Hanks to space. Get out of here.
Really?
What? Well,
Nah.
because we need him here.
I mean, he'd probably get stuck.
He was kind of the one
Guys,
who got us back, really.
He also
well,
landed.
no, I mean, it's hard to say. They worked as a team up there. They worked as a team.
They did.
He also landed that plane in the Hudson.
All right, so no The Rock,
Yeah.
no Tom Hanks.
No Rock, no Tom Hanks. Who would it be? Dude, it'd be us three and several others. I'd take my brother. I'd probably take my friend Redmond. I think we would round out a really good crew. We got to take Danny.
I agree.
Hannah, you're invited. Let's do it.
Jackie, my dad, only person qualified to be in space.
Yeah, of course. Your dad would be lieutenant or whatever, the commander.
Your dad will just be puking
12-star general or whatever it is.
I think the important thing here is they don't have to pick space correctly in the fact that you're in this cabin, not subject to elements, subject to death outside. You have to be people that you like, not people that you're trained with, but like your friends that you have an established relationship with. I think if I was going to be in a space capsule going towards the abyss, I couldn't be with Lieutenant Jim, who I've never like actually had an in-depth conversation.
Well, who
with.
would it be?
You guys, and what Taylor said. It also have to be somebody that like was obviously has trained. One person that is qualified, and all of us fools.
I got a new answer.
All right.
Because that's an obvious great answer. I'd take that whole group of people.
Yeah.
I would take Bubbles from the Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah. He really wanted it.
He wanted it bad, dude, and I think he deserves it.
Listen.
Nick, what about you?
I'd bring Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Boy.
I would bring Dave Bautista.
Is he a baseball player?
No, he's a wrestler, but also he's in the movie Guardians of the Galaxy.
Dave Bautista. He's awesome.
And then I would bring as well, I bring Bernie Sanders.
Oh, he could possibly talk some sense into these aliens.
He absolutely could. He could talk him down.
We need socialism. We need socialism in the universe. Listen to me right now. That's what it would be.
Listen to me right now here.
I feel
right
like
here.
He wouldn't survive.
Neil deGrasse Tyson would be it. You know what? Fuck that. Neil deGrasse Tyson is the only Space Force we need.
Yeah, send him up there. Him, Mucho Kaku, Bill Nye, and Giorgio Tsoukalos.
Nah, if you put
people that just understand how the universe works are not great candidates for fixing.
Sure.
No, they're not.
Sure.
Just because they understand what a black hole and like interdimensional travel theory is, that doesn't mean they're going to do anything.
Give me an example.
I will. So I was in almost a TED talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson at Western University in Michigan.
Wait, you gave a TED talk?
He gave a TED talk, but I was there. He gave a huge speech to like a whole bunch of students, like thousands of kids.
You were in the presence of Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah, for about 3 hours.
Tight.
Call him up. Guys, we're going to get Neil deGrasse Tyson on the phone right now.
Johnny,
get him on the phone.
I haven't talked to Neil in years, okay? Anyways,
years.
Factual, he came out on the stage with bare feet. He literally just didn't wear shoes the whole entire speech.
Hell
He had a suit on.
I like this guy.
And he gave us all these options, like Pluto not becoming a planet, different like gravity, how to measure gravity, all these different things, or gravity waves in the Earth, all these different things. But the whole time I was like, man, that guy definitely wants to be in a capsule going into space. I never had that opinion at all.
Did you sound 90 back then and then just age down? Are you Benjamin Button?
I don't know. That was the dumb accent I gave on. I never thought once in my mind that he was a great candidate for space.
Yeah, I think that some of those scientists, while they're great scientists and they obviously know fucking everything, and I trust what they say, sure, but I don't know if they're the right guys to be out there. We need somebody who's more open-minded. I would probably be more into the Giorgio Tsoukalos crowd. To send them out there, they'd be open-minded. They'd be more open to be like, well, maybe this, maybe that, you know?
I want to just reflect on the idea that if we went into space, us three Hybros and Hybro, buddy, if we went into space, we would definitely gain millions of followers, guys.
There'd be a lot more listeners at that point.
Oh, I mean, the whole world would be listening. The half should be listening.
It'd be like, it's
the only transmission that some people get. Like
I'm
everyone
cold.
outside of the Earth, we're the only transmission.
Yeah,
like
literally.
for other planets.
They're like, I want to know what's outside. And we're like, guys, this week on Hybrothetical Thinking, we're talking about dinosaurs.
some alien in another planet's tuned in, and they're just like, "Oh, you're trying to tell me that there's a big hairy man with giant fucking feet wandering around in Alaska? There's no way.
Nope. An alien.
believe it.
These guys are telling old wives' tales."
They're balling.
I could totally see an alien getting in an argument with us. We have this week on Hybrothetical Thinking, we have an alien from planet GLORP, and they're going to talk to us about Bigfoot, their version of Bigfoot.
A planet inspired completely by gum.
And how do you feel about that? That'd be the most interesting podcast ever.
Translation, what he's saying is, I think it's a load of horse shit.
Thank you.
How do you know How do you know what horses are? Well, on our planet, we have
A horse with 5 legs.
we have a horse, with 17 legs. We call it a spider horse.
Or what's the horse called in Avatar?
Oh, I don't know. It's
It'd be
not
like
Awa.
that.
Man, for a movie
Braid horse.
so game changing, I didn't retain. The only thing I retained from that movie is how those avatars had sex with each other.
In front of Awa.
Yeah,
I think me too.
like I remember
Yeah.
Awa, and I remember
but that was a big plot of it.
I remember I See You, because that's
Yeah.
what they said when they wanted
Yeah.
to fuck.
So weird.
Yeah.
I remember the scenes with all the iridescent like floaty thingies, like
Visually, it was
the
stunning.
air jellyfish. Yeah, it was great.
Stunning.
It was awesome, man. I was tripping out when I saw it. Possibly literally. I don't know. I don't remember.
I
But
remember
it's probably
Sigourney
really
Weaver.
good.
I remember sitting. I was like waiting out in front of the theater. I got to the theater like 3 hours early on opening day, and I'm the first one in line. And these people come out, and I'm just like, "Hey, I heard there's an intermission in this movie because it's so crazy on the eyes. They got to take a break." This was like 2008, and I'm sitting here like talking to people in line, being like, "Yeah, I read online that they said you got to take a break because it's just too much for the eyes."
2013.
Nah, brah.
Was it 2013? Get the
think
fuck out! It was like 2009.
No, it wasn't 2008 or 9. There's no way it was
It was,
2009.
yeah, it was pretty
How
early.
much
I'd
you
say
wanna
9
bet?
or 10. I'm
How
gonna
much
say
you
9
wanna
or
bet?
10.
2009, buddy.
Oh my! Really?
Oh, buddy.
Well, that's crazy for that.
That was
time
at the
period.
time when 3D movies like weren't even 3D movies.
Yeah,
So
like
it'd be
Spy Kids
like
and stuff.
two elements. Like let's picture that scene with the tree and whatnot, and all the
Just
floaty
one,
thingies.
yeah.
Like the floaty things. Like a quarter of them might have been 3D. Like a bush was probably 3D.
You know,
nothing else, man.
We haven't even
Bogus.
discussed that Sigourney Weaver would be a great candidate.
Oh
Not
my
only
goodness,
Alien
yeah.
and
I like
Avatar.
Sigourney a whole
Dude,
hell of a lot.
She's a great candidate.
And wait,
Sigourney
not only
Weaver.
that, she was in fucking Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, she
damn
was. Dude,
right. She was
great
in Galaxy
movie.
Quest.
Alan Rickman, rest in peace. Tim Allen.
I love that movie.
Such a good movie.
What a great movie.
It's, man, I tell you what, like a Space Force, bring it on. I'm ready for it.
The movie.
But yeah, the movie, bring it on. Bring it on, starring Johnny Clark.
Oh, dude, I would have totally been one of the stars.
Bring it on 12.
Dude, hell yeah.
Uh,
I'm not
yeah.
the asshole
It's-
little brother.
the whole thing is nuts. Like, it's nuts that we're even talking about it and the term Space Force. Do we know if that was coined by the internet, or
Did
if
Trump
that's
call it?
actually
Yeah.
something that was? Oh no, it's a space.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Uh-oh,
It's a
Nick.
Space Force.
What are you looking at right
According to Fox News, who is the most reputable source for news on the
Oh,
internet,
absolutely.
now? Ever?
they have a Space Force decree.
Oh. What's that?
Like
It's
a
a
black belt? What's
Nice.
it's a thing that was signed
by who?
by Donald Trump.
Oh, so actually it's called Space Force?
Yeah.
Space Busters!
Yeah, I mean I think it's more than an idea. I think it's in motion.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, Space Force is not something that was coined. It was. Yeah.
Well, hopefully it ruffles some feathers. Like hopefully it's like we get our Space Force up there and it somehow clashes heads with the existing Solar Warden.
I hope so.
And it like brings to light that Solar Warden exists and
Hope
they've
something
got all this
happens.
crazy information and like technology and propulsion systems. They would have to have crazy different energy systems. That's probably what the government's been protecting this whole time is their crazy different energy systems. And that's why they're probably so hooked on this oil shit just to keep us on the planet. Keep us here, get them out there. Keep us little pawns here on this earth just with this oil distraction. That's all they have to do is keep us hooked on oil, and they keep us on this rock.
Hooked on phonics.
Well, I'm gonna clarify now. In March 2018, it is quoted from President Donald J. Trump that we need a new force. We'll call it the Space Force.
The Space Force. I support it 110%. I'm
so
on it.
he named it. Those words came out of his mouth. Space Force is not some internet created name for this. It has actually been called by our president as the Space Force or the USSF, the United States Space Force.
I love it. So important. So important.
It's
gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge.
Huge.
It's gonna be huge.
He did use some words that were kind of weird, though, in his speech that I thought maybe his advisors could have eliminated. One that you pointed out was the dominance part, which isn't too bad. The dominance part, yeah, kind of makes sense, I guess. We want to dominate, I guess. If that's our goal right now, to dominate the current world, I guess. But the other one he used was to tame new frontiers, which is like, okay, yeah, if it's a horse and we want to tame it, whatever. That's like just it's like forcing something to do what we want it to do, which is weird.
Right. Yeah,
I just want to be friends. I just want to be friends with aliens, dude.
I'd like to make an announcement. I just sat down.
Johnny just sat down, ladies and gentlemen.
Dun, 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 dun.
So it's been a crazy episode. We've had twists, we've had turns, we've had some positivity, we've had some negativity. But you know what? All in all, this is going to go one way, or two, or two ways. There's a 50-50 chance that either we're all fucked or this could be the greatest thing to happen to mankind in the history of mankind.
Yeah. I think it's probably going to be one of the greatest things that ever happened, dude. It's a step forward.
It is a big step forward.
Let's hope so.
It is a step forward. It's crazy. I think people need to simmer on the idea. I mean, the word Space Force sounds like something out of a movie. But if movies did not exist, Space Force would probably be the craziest thing anyone's ever heard of, and they'd be like, I'm on board.
Yeah.
So, anyway, if you got a hypothetical you want us to talk about or a thought you'd like to share about today's episode, good news, if you're not already sharing it and plastering all over your fucking social media pages,
and your body,
you can shoot us an email at hybrothoughts@gmail.com. That's hybrothoughts@gmail.com. No one's using it, so we're going to go ahead and give you our Facebook account. You hit us up on the Facebook. It's facebook.com/hybrothetical thinking. We're going to post more content throughout the week, some crazy stuff. And also, do not forget, most importantly, if you're listening to us on TuneIn, Stitcher, or iTunes, make sure you give us a review. It's going to help us get closer and closer to that top 100. All we want to be is number 100. And that'll be a dream come true. And you know what they say about dreams? When you reach it, you just give up. So when we reach top 100,
oh my god, that was not the way I thought you were going with that.
Guys, here's the thing: if you don't like this podcast and you want us to stop, just keep giving us 5-star reviews because we'll stop the moment we hit the top 100.
Once we get it, live your dream.
Yeah, like I said, we give up after our dreams are reached.
Yeah,
or they'll put us in the space pod and we'll be traveling out into space talking to different aliens, and we'll be the only contact.
Yeah,
if it's possible to start a petition to get us to be the first Space Force, please somebody go ahead and start that. Magdalena, we're looking at you.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to want us in space.
Please send us to space. I will take it. I will gladly. I will ride.
Could you imagine, Nick? Could you survive?
No, dude, I don't imagine.
No. Look at me in the eyes right now.
I'm staring right in your eyes.
Could you survive in a spaceship with me, Jonathan Clark, for the rest of your life?
No.
Exactly.
I'd jump out into space and die a horrible, cold, and painful death.
No one's going to send you to space if you're going to kamikaze. That's the way it goes.
15 minutes into orbit.
Nick lost his freaking mind.
The outer door was breached. Everyone left except for Johnny.
And at that point,
everyone left except for Johnny.
They did not leave the Earth's atmosphere before Nick decided to jump out of the craft.
Can't do it.
And that was it.
So funny.
Taylor held on. It would be like a sporting event. It would be like, all right, and the Hybros have lifted off, and they are going very fast towards the outer rims of the Earth. Okay.
12 seconds, the first one's gone.
Place your bets.
All right, Nick is gone. Nick is out of the craft. Nick's out of the craft. Taylor's still holding on. Taylor is holding on tight. Johnny's talking to him. Johnny's having a long conversation. Okay. All right, they have exited the Earth's atmosphere. Ah, fuck, there's Taylor. Taylor's out of the craft, ladies and gentlemen. Taylor's out of the craft. Johnny is still in the craft. All right, Johnny himself has also exited the craft.
I need people.
Because he's so tired of hearing himself talk.
Oh my gosh. That would be a sporting event. It'd be the world sport.
And Johnny's still talking about soccer on his way down. He's got a long travel. He's still in space. He is stuck. In Earth's gravitational pull. He is going to float there for the rest of his life. This will be an interesting one. We will live stream it.
Now here's like all the way up in space. You just see that guy a little floating with his bow tie.
Johnny has found a car. Johnny has found the car that's been floating around
Tesla.
The Earth's atmosphere. He has climbed in it. What's happening now? Johnny is now driving in space. What?
This is a spectacle for the rest of the humanity.
You know, they say that new Sony zoom lens is strong enough to see Johnny's bow tie on the moon.
Awesome.
Oh, well.
It's been a good podcast.
It's been fun.
You're
been
a good
great.
podcast.
Thanks, man. No,
Taylor.
You're a good podcast.
Taylor's provided us with another journey. Some news.
To infinity and beyond.
Something's going on. I'll say it now. Something's happening. This is the second week in a row we have actually had current news be what we talk about on this podcast.
It's like specials.
This is weird. It's real weird.
It's weird, dude.
And I have a feeling it's only going to get weirder. So without further ado, without forgetting who I am, who I was, and who I will always be, I have been your host. Nick.
So, best there is, best there was, best there ever will be, John Taylor Nelson.
Jonathan Clark.
Look, Johnny didn't even say anything. Johnny's just like, Jonathan Clark. He's self-conscious now.
No, fine. I'm the coolest guy ever, guys. Bow tie on the moon. I talk my way out of any situation. I'm Jonathan Clark, and I will see you. I'll talk to you next week. Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better. I'm proud of you.
I can't believe you wanted me to talk more. I feel like that's the opposite of what is wanted.
I'm just giving the listeners what they want, Johnny.
What do they want, Nick?
More Johnny.
They want more Johnny.
We want more Johnny.
They want that long John Silvers. Johnny.
Guys, I'm gonna cry right now.
Let's make him cry.
Don't make me cry.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Make sure to do all the things with the Facebooks and the reviews and Space Force. Should we do it all together?
You want to say Space Force?
Let's all say Space Force at the same time. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Space Force.